been a while since I made a video for the channel, and I figured that I should at least open up with kind of what's been taking up my time. I played a bunch of gigs. That's basically what it was. Me and Edmund did some gigs with Plumbus, the TFU reunion, family reunion, which was awesome. We did the Hallows Halloween show, and then we did main stage at Barnyard Boogie, which was out of control. So really, we've been in prep mode, and we've been really thinking about things that we could do in order to take our live show, some of the theatrics and writing material, and really just thinking about those things and putting it all together. But here we're back, and it's time to start up the streams again. It's time to start doing videos. And it's time to do some tracks. So we have a track cooking. This track is, it's based off of an iPad jam, and I'm also gonna be integrating hardware, dumping it all into Ableton, packaging it up. And I'm really happy with kind of some of the minimalism and some of the really interesting sounds I'm getting. One of those sounds is Hydrasynth, and so I have repacked it a little bit. I'm going to show you how. So Hydrasynth and iPad are being used together in a jam. And that's really the crux of what the next video is about, is how to take the Hydrasynth and integrate it with your iPad and turn it into something that's cross-jammable, how to do some controls with some of the control surfaces you might have with the iPad. Going over routings, going over how to make all that happen, a little of the anatomy of the patch on Hydrasynth, and then obviously the jam is gonna happen, right? So you'll be able to take a little bit of a look at how the jam is set up and hear how that track is gonna play out. Anyway, I hope I see you at my set tonight. It's at 9 o'clock. If not, and you're just here to look for instructions on how to route your iPad with your Hydrasynth, here's the gear you need. iPad, Hydrasynth, iRig Pro Duo or some other interface that would include audio inputs as well as MIDI. That's it. You get those three things. The software you need is AUM, and that'll route it. And then for sequencing, I'm using Drombo. You have all those pieces, and you follow the instructions that I'm going to show on this video, and you will have a good jam. So anyway, enjoy. See you on the flippity flop. Okay, so what we're doing today is we are going to do integration of Hydrasynth with iPad, right? So I've been getting super into iPad. iPad is I can make music with it anywhere. It is the actual thing I've been searching for as far as a mobile solution where I can be on different locations and actually make music that's ridiculously good. So for that, I'm using AUM as kind of the host. And if you're not familiar with that, I'm going to go into much more depth with that later. But right now, I'm just giving the quick rundown of what I used to put this jam together to integrate it with Hydrasynth. I'm still learning a lot about Hydrasynth, so this is not an expert video on Hydrasynth at all, but it is going to show you how to integrate the two. So the first thing is Ohm. So I have a few things loaded up on Ohm. The first is Drambo, and you're going to hear a lot more about Drombo from me. So Drombo, I have a few things going. I have this awesome kick. As Bleep Temple says, make a kick until your head nods. So this is a kick, the longer you hold it, the cooler things it does. And then I have a really cool kind of percussion thing with some effects. Okay, and then I have a synth. It's a very modular system, and I'm going to go much more in depth on Drombo, but for now, just know that these three things are making the backbone of this jam. This jam is also going to become an actual track that's going to go out, I believe, on TFU's forthcoming record label. Okay, so then I also have Chord Gadget. So I have two instances of London. What these are doing is they're patterning off of each other. So they're the same exact pattern. Hold on. Same exact pattern, but one of them is a beatbox, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So that's just a pretty simple beat. And this one is a beatbox pattern. All right, so you can hear the whole jam here now. I'm gonna start bringing up Hydrasynth. Okay, so there's a couple things that we can do here. So first off, I have Drombo running MIDI. Right, one instance of Drombo is running MIDI, so it's basically just a chord that I've held, and then it's running through an arpeggiator on Drombo, and then that is getting routed to the MIDI out over here. So the arpeggiator is also going to Agonizer, which is Jacob Hack's synth or sponsored synth, and it's excellent. It's a really great synth. I also have some automation happening. So we're going to switch camera. So on here I have a few things that we're controlling with the Korg Nano Studio. So these are arpeggiation patterns. So that's the filter on Agonizer. So this is the speed of the arpeggiator. And then this should be octaves. And what you're hearing right now is just Hydrasynth. All right, so again, that is because over on the iPad, I have Drombo MIDI effects doing an arpeggiation that is then routing out to the iRig Pro Duo. And the iRig Pro Duo is simply going to the MIDI in on the Hydrasynth. So there's also, so that MIDI control, you can control things in Drombo pretty easily. We're gonna do a full tutorial on that, but really it just has a MIDI learn button up here, and then you turn a knob and make sure you're routed correctly. We're gonna get out of that. All right, so let's quickly do the anatomy of this patch on Hydrasynth because it's a really cool patch. So let's hear it. The filter on here is a vowel filter, so it's a Formant filter. So if you take the envelope down a lot, the cutoff actually works it, and it has these cool lips that move to show you what the sound you're filtering it with is. We're gonna go to home. There's other things on here that are really great. So when you're at home and you're in a patch on Hydrasynth, then whatever macros have been set up, which is many sets of different parameters throughout the patch, mapped to one knob, that is what shows there, right? So we have a vowel, gender, all right, we also have Brighton, Telephone, that one can clip, a gorgeous reverb, and then two harmonics, a fifth and a ninth. In this jam, I'm not gonna use the ninth because it sounds like a bit much. All right, let's bring it in. All right, so that is iPad integrated with Hydrasynth. So Hydrasynth is glorious to tweak on itself. So you want to use it as much as possible. Now, in AOM, you can't record automation unless you have something else, right? So what I'm doing here is really about live performance and jamming. But, however, I could route the MIDI out of this back in if I wanted to, if I felt so inclined, and then Drombo would be able to record all that. We're going to have to get to Drombo sooner rather than later because it is a cornerstone of mobile jamming, and more people need to be using Drombo. But if you're just getting into iPad, it's fine to just get started with AUM and Core Gadget. Those will take you very far. Anyway, thanks for watching. I know this is going to be a shorter video, but I did want to kind of ease back into it. And really the core piece here is how to integrate Hydrasynth into your iPad rig. Anyway, thanks so much. I will talk to y'all later.